Hello and welcome. In this math tutorial, our task is to find all the values of x that satisfy the given equation. And of course, you know that to do this, we are going to start with a substitution. So let this quantity be equal to u and this quantity be equal to v. That is, let the fourth root of x be equal to u. And of course, you know that this implies that x is equal to u raised to power 4. Now, also, let the fourth root of 97 minus x be equal to v. And once more, this implies that 97 minus x is equal to v raised to power 4. Now, with these two substitutions, the original equation, that is this, can be written as u plus v is equal to 5. So we have that u plus v is equal to 5. And now let us look at these two equations. You will immediately see that if we add these two equations, that is u to the power 4 plus v to the power 4, that we are going to eliminate x, because here we have x plus 97 minus x. And of course, x is going to take care of minus x, leaving us with 97. So now you can see that we have reduced the original equation, the radical equation, to a system of equations. U plus v is equal to 5 and u to power 4 plus v to power 4 is equal to 97. Now, to solve this system of equations, we begin with a substitution. From this first equation, you can see that v is equal to 5 minus u. So what we are going to do is that we will replace v with 5 minus u in this second equation. When we do that, we have u to power 4 plus 5 minus u to power 4 is equal to 97. Now, to simplify this equation, we are going to do one more substitution. Notice that the distance between u and 5 minus u is 5 points. So to introduce symmetry into this equation and simplify the equation, we are going to let d be equal to 5 over 2 minus u. Now you may ask, why 5 over 2? That is because this is the midpoint between 0 and 5. U and 5 minus u are 5 points apart, and the midpoint between them is 5 over 2, that is half of 5. So that is why I chose 5 over 2. And once more, with this substitution, this equation, of course, you know that from here, we have that u is equal to 5 over 2 minus d. Now, with this substitution, this equation now becomes 5 over 2 minus d to power 4 plus 5 minus 5 over 2 minus d to power 4. And this remains equal to 97. And simplifying this equation, we have 5 over 2 minus d raised to power 4 plus 5 minus 5 over 2 minus is plus d. And of course, this is raised to power 4 and everything is equal to 97. Of course, from here we have that 5 over 2 minus d raised to power 4 plus 5 minus 5 over 2 is 5 over 2 plus d raised to power 4 is equal to 97. Now, the next thing we are going to do is we expand this, and then we add both of them together. Now, before we start with the expansion of these two brackets, let us remind ourselves that when we have a plus b to power 4, this is equal to a to power 4 plus 4a cube b plus 6a squared b squared plus 4ab cube plus b to power 4. Of course, you know that in this case, a is going to be 5 over 2 and b is going to be minus d. While in this case, once more, a is going to be 5 over 2 and b is going to be plus d. So now here we have 5 over 2 minus d raised to power 4. This is going to be equal to 5 over 2 raised to power 4. Because of this negative sign, we have minus 4 times 5 over 2 cube d plus 6 times 5 over 2 squared d squared minus 4 times 5 over 2 d cube plus d raised to power 4. And in this case, we have 5 over 2 plus d raised to power 4. Now, of course, you know that this is going to follow exactly this pattern. No alternating signs. So here we have 5 over 2 to power 4 plus 4 times 5 over 2 cube d plus 6 times 5 over 2 squared d squared plus 4 times 5 over 2 d cube plus d to power 4. And of course, because of this addition, you know that we are going to add these two expansions. So here we have plus. Now notice that this is negative and this is positive, and they are exactly the same terms. So this is going to take care of that. Once more, notice that this is negative while this is positive, and they are exactly the same terms. So this is also going to take care of that. Leaving us with, here we have 2 of this. That is 2 times 5 over 2 raised to power 4. Here we have 6 of this plus 6 of that. So of course that is 12. So here we have 12 times 5 over 2 squared d squared. And lastly, here we have one of this and one of this. That is 2 of that. That is 2 times d to power 4. And of course, you know that everything is equal to 97. And simplifying this equation, we have 2 times 5 to power 4 is 625 over 2 to power 4 is 16 plus 5 squared is 25 and 2 squared is 4. D squared plus 2d to power 4 is equal to 97. Of course, 2 can go into 16 to give us 8. So this is 625 over 8. Plus 4 can go into 12 to give us 3. 3 times 25 is 75d squared. And here we have 2d to power 4, and everything is equal to 97. And rearranging this equation, we have 2d to power 4 plus 75d squared plus 625 over 8. and then minus 97 is equal to 0. But of course, we can combine these two. We have minus 97 times 8. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 9 is 72 plus 5. That is minus 77. Then plus 625. 6 minus 5 is 1. 7 minus 2 is 5. And 7 minus 1 is 5. And of course, this is negative. So this equation becomes 2d to the power 4 plus 75d squared minus 151 over 8 is equal to 0. And to get rid of this fraction, we multiply through the equation by 8. 2 times 8 is 16, d to the power 4. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56 plus 4, 60, d squared minus 15, or rather 151 over 8 times 8 is simply 151, and this is equal to 0. And then we can factorize this equation. Let us use the table method. Of course, the factors of 16d to the power 4 are going to be 4d squared and 4d squared. Because 4d squared times 4d squared is going to give us 16d raised to the power 4. And the factors of minus 151 are going to be minus 1 and plus 151. Now let us check if this balances. 4d squared times 151. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2, 6. So this is going to give us 604d squared. And then minus 1 times 4d squared is going to give us minus 4d squared. And 604d squared minus 4d squared is going to give us plus 600d squared. So this tells us that the factors of this equation are 4d squared minus 1 and 4d squared plus 151. And of course, this is equal to 0. Of course, from here we have that either 4d squared minus 1 is equal to 0, or 4d squared plus 151 is equal to 0. From here we have that 4d squared is equal to 1, and hence dividing both sides by 4, d squared is equal to 1 over 4. And of course, taking square root of both sides of this equation, we have that d is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1 over 4, which is equal to plus or minus half. Or in this case, we have that 4d squared is equal to minus 151. Dividing both sides by 4, we have that d squared is equal to minus 151 over 4. When we take square root of both sides of this equation, since this is negative, you see that we only have complex roots. So this is not acceptable when we are looking for real values of x that satisfy the original equation. So that means that the only two values of d that we can accept are plus half and minus half. So now we go back to this substitution to find u. From here we have that u is equal to 5 over 2 minus plus or minus half. This is 5 over 2 minus plus is minus. Minus minus is plus. 1 over 2. This simply means that u is equal to 5 minus 1, which is 4, over 2, or equal to 5 plus 1, which is 6, over 2. So we have two values of u. That is 4 over 2, which of course is equal to 2, or 6 over 2, which of course is equal to 3. Now we go back to this substitution. From here we have that u to power 4 is equal to x. So we have that x is equal to 2 to power 4, or 3 to power 4. 2 to power 4 is equal to 16, and 3 to power 4 is equal to 81. So we have that the two values of x, real values of x that satisfy this equation, are x equal to 16 and x equal to 81. And of course, it's very easy to check these answers. When x is equal to 16, this equation becomes the fourth root of 16 plus the fourth root of 97 minus 16. This is the fourth root of 16 plus the fourth root of 97 minus 16 is 81. The fourth root of 16, of course, is 2. And the fourth root of 81 is 3. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. When x is equal to 81, the equation becomes the fourth root of 81 plus the fourth root of 97 minus 81. This is simply the fourth root of 81 plus the fourth root of 97 minus 81, of course, is equal to 16. Once more, the fourth root of 81 is 3, and the fourth root of 16 is 2, and 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. And with that, we come to the end of today's tutorial. I hope you learned something new. If you enjoy such content, please subscribe to the channel. Leave us a like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.